Oxydentum arboretum is our next tree that we're going to cover today. It is going to be a broadleaf tree and also deciduous. So let's go ahead and see what we have. For us common folks, we're going to refer to this as going to be sourwood. So first of all, before we grab a leaf and look at it, let's look at some of the tree features. As you look at this tree, you can tell it's going to have some dead spots in it. But look at that trunk. This is generally a nice sized tree, but up in the mountains it can probably get a little bit larger. But most of the times I know this thing produces a lot of fruit, seed and catkins that honeybees and beekeepers love to make sourwood honey from. But the biggest thing I ever seen it produce from is going to be from the roots. If you look at this young shoot coming straight up out of the ground here, it's going to be, it does a real good job of reproducing from its root ball. And it seems like that's where it does its best reproduction at. And it seems like these trees, as far as their roots, you can look around how scrubby it is. They don't like much competition there in their rooting zone. So that may be why we don't see them too much. So let's go ahead and grab us a limb, see what we got. So that's the Oxydentum arboretum, also known as a sourwood. All right, we look at the stem here. We notice it can be kind of mottled with green and brown and kind of streaked up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and scratch the twig. You can even do this in the wintertime. I'm going to sniff it. There's two modes of thought about the way that this actually smells. Some folks in the southern part of the state may say it smells like green peanuts or freshly dug peanuts. I would agree. Some folks in the northern part of the state who don't usually have green peanuts to smell may say it smells like worm dirt. If you go to the feed and bait and tackle store and get you a good set of your night crawlers or your red wigglers to go fishing with, it also smells like worm dirt, that kind of worm dirt. So let's look at the leaf. If we look at the leaf, you notice it's going to be kind of dark green on the top side. And if you look very close, I don't know if we can get it to focus in, you're going to be a very, very, very finely serrate margin. Very difficult to see, but it's there. Trust me. Okay. And you got a long elliptical leaf shape. It's skinnier on the ends and fatter in the middle. And this is one of the key determining factors. Let's flip it over and look at the rib on the back side here. If you look, it's going to be very, very finely hairy. Very finely hairy. That's some of the key characteristics of Mr. Sourwood. It's going to be some of these keys. Now, some of the uses, I know that with those shoots coming out of the ground, Native Americans used to use it for arrow shafts because that grew so young, so straight when it erupts out of the ground. But since a bow and arrow and woodland culture is no longer in vogue, about the biggest use for the sourwood tree is going to be its blossoms and being able to make honey, that clear mountain honey that folks like. So this is our friend, Mr. Sourwood, Oxydentum arboretum, I believe the scientific name was. Dark shiny green on top. Smells like green peanuts and or worm dirt. Hairy midrib, very hairy midrib, and a very fine serrate margin. That's one of our trees up here in North Georgia. It's very common. Now if we get down in the Red Hill parts of the state, around North Florida and drifting into Thomasville, sometimes it don't seem like they have the hairy midrib, but they got all the same characteristics, and it is a sourwood. So somebody told me if you have a bad problem with dry mouth, if you take some of the bark or mostly some of the leaves. You could chew on them but not swallow them, and that would help you with dry mouth. But I do know old folks also use these leaves as a laxative. So it's your choice to figure that out on that. Mr. Sourwood, it's one of our trees.